after the blink, after the torch was directed to her eye, photoreceptors in the retina were stimulated, and after they are stimulated, a nerve impulse was generated. After the nerve impulse was generated, it was exactly transmitted to the brain, which we have called the reflex center, through the optic nerve, which we can say in brackets a sensory neuron. Now, after that, what happens is the brain will interpret. The brain interpreted the impulse. The brain interpreted the impulse. We want to see how it came to happen that her eyes were blinking. Now, this impulse, after being interpreted, the brain has sent it back. But when the brain is sending it, it does not just send it any, it just sends it an effector. An effector. And in this case, the effector is what is going to cause the response, or what is going to respond. And now here, according to what is going to respond, it is this muscle of the eye which is going to blink, and which means it is the eyelid muscle. And of course, if the impulse went to the brain through the sensory, now this one is going to be through the motor neurons. Through the motor neurons. New curriculum is just interesting. So what we are trying to say, we are saying brain interpreted. After interpreting the impulse, it sent the impulse to the what? To the effector muscle, which is now the eyelid muscle, and of course through the motor neurons. Now, what happens after that? Now, when it reaches, remember, after the effector, which is the eyelid, receiving the response, one thing it is going to do, it is the muscles are going to do what? They are going to contract. Now, once they start contracting, it means they are now responding to the instruction from the brain. And once they start contracting, now they start closing. After contracting, they start closing. After contracting, they start what? Closing. Which means closing, opening. And this is what resulted into the blinking of the old woman's eyes. As simple as eating matoke. So let's summarize it like this. What did we say? We said that the response they are talking about here is actually the what? Is actually blinking. And then we are saying this is a reflex action which was as a result of eyes receiving a bright light from the torch. Now let's go through the process. The torchlight entered the retina of the eye and the photoreceptors were stimulated. Now when the photoreceptors were stimulated, what happened is a nerve impulse was generated. Now, this nerve impulse was sent to the brain, which we call the reflex center, through the sensory neurons. And in this case, which we have said that they are the optic nerves of the eye. And then from there, the brain interpreted the nerve impulse after it sent it to the eyelid muscle, which we have called the effector. And of course, through the what? The motor neurons go through the sensory neurons and return through the motor neurons, which are going to affect the action. And then after, the muscles in the eyelid started contracting, and of course, the eye closed and opened, which resulted into the blinking. This is just a summary. We couldn't write word by word, but that is how we can summarize it. Thank you very much.